I live by myself and I love it because it's that quietness I need,
Yeah.
and
Yep. Yeah.
uh, it's almost like I always said I was like a monk when I was in Washington, D.C. in this crazy area, but you can still create a very, anyways, I have to. But because
Yep.
I'm doing a lot, I'm trying to exercise. I'm going to 12-step meeting. I'm trying to do a financial, I'm really trying to do this. I'm reading all this stuff, and it's just like,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
even if I'm connected to source, I could still kind of overcharge a little bit. I'm always grounded and kind of at peace, but I can put my body through a little too much. That's where I normally get the manifestation, just like I feel more tired and that kind of stuff.
Sure, absolutely. And even I've had so many experiences throughout my life where in that stillness and silence, depending on the intensity, there's been times where the energy and light that came into this little body nervous system
Yeah.
was so charged that in those kinds of experiences, I knew what point I had to allow myself to be released from it because I think I could have just like, I don't know, short circuited or something. And in experiences like that, there were probably days where I really didn't need to sleep or eat because I was supercharged. It's just, and so there's been so much learning on my part, like uh, how to stay grounded and integrate in a balanced way, human and divine. That's really what it comes down to for me.
Would you mind, like, okay, I know you like the experiences as a child, which were, but it's like I'm so curious. Well, then what happened? And it's almost like you've always, and I'm not asking for a detail, like, but you have, seems like you've always maintained ever since that experience when you were, was it 8? I think you said,
Mm-hmm.
where
Mm-hmm.
you, and then it appears to me like ever since then you've had a divine connection.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Oh,
and
yeah.
kind of like what's happened, to where you are today, and
Yeah. No, and I, yeah,
I'm kind of interested.
yeah. It's I've yet to connect with anyone that had an experience like that at a young age. And so I only have, my own understanding of it. And to me, because that happened at such a young age, that's what seems natural to me.
I got that. Yep. I thought, wow, that would be interesting because you always read about people that they were a certain way from the very beginning. They're always that way. And they thought other people were that way. I think I heard that in your story.
Yeah.
What did it mean to you? Like, what was the overall when you had that thing? Like, as you like digested it over time and it like integrated it and
It took me a long, long time the experience and the connection. I've never doubted that, never questioned it, never doubted it for 1 second.
Mhm.
What became confusing throughout life is um, because from that experience, I was in love with life and totally open, without the ego defenses. And so as I, started my journey through life, I actually thought, because it was seemed so natural, I thought everybody had this experience, so everyone was on that page. And so each time I would run into somebody that would be guarded or maybe do something harmful or mean or what, I I really had no way to grasp, well, that doesn't really match. I mean, I don't understand why you're being that way. So it took a long, long time before I realized, oh, okay, not everybody has this kind of experience. And so I really had to work very, very hard at connecting the dots in a way.
And it was like, it occurs to me as you're defenseless because like in terms of the way the world is, and I can imagine teenage girls, I mean,
Mhm.
wow.
Yeah, and in a lot of ways, I don't know if today I would define it as defenseless because eventually I did develop discernment
Yep.
because judgment always felt really, it just was painful to judge. Judge creates separation. And
Right.
I don't feel that separation, and it just it's not possible. The minute there's judgment, there's a disconnection from what I consider to be kind of an absolute truth that flows through us, and I simply can't do it. And just that alone, trying to go through life without that judgment, so I had to develop discernment. And once I developed that, things became a little bit easier.
Yeah. But I meant defenses like that little girl like picks at you and you go, what? I could just see you go, wait, I don't get this. Why would some, like,
Yeah. And then
that,
to find a way to love them anyway.
yeah. Well, you were very advanced. I mean, at a very early age. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. And even today at the age I am, it is something I've worked on throughout my life. I won't let go of that innocence in a way, but what I developed, which needed to be developed, I would call it an innocent wisdom. And so a combining of those two things is an absolute must.
you do have this purity and innocence. I picked that right up when from your podcast. And it's like, it is very rare. I've always said that if we ever ran an experiment, Gopi Krishna wanted to get 100 people to run an experiment. Never happened. But I was thinking, innocence to me is the highest, kindness, innocent, love,
Yeah.
purity, that's the ones that are the closest to making, and they may already be there. I don't mean that, but that where they would have an awakening, maybe they were in their system that was biological, that they could at least, track and see, but they may already be there if they're that innocent and pure. But
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, in that innocence with wisdom is an openness. And it's that openness that creates the connection to one's higher self, and from that higher self to the source of all that is. And then from that, it's like, the understanding and the realization that there really is nothing to fear. And there really is only love. Love is the only thing that's absolutely real. And yeah.
if you've never not felt that, how would you know that other people don't? The majority of people don't feel that,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's no judgment. It's
No, there's no judgment in you.
no, there really isn't. But at the same time, there has been, because I know what these kinds of experiences can bring, it's like, well, why would we waste any time in fear? I mean, and so a lot of times throughout my life, and sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't, inviting someone into that experience with me. And it's I've had people say, what is happening? What is going on? And it's like, this was such a great day. What this energy that I'm feeling, this is like better than any drug that any person could ever take. And I'm like, yes, exactly.
Therefore, the difference between true enlightenment and the drug experience. But go
Yeah.
on, I'm a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you understand that. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's amazing what you went through because, yeah, I don't know how you develop wisdom. I mean, if you're, you've learned, like you said, wisdom with, and I always say that the end, the highest thing you were always a child, but you become a child, not childish, but childlike again.
Like, yes.
You're exploring. That's how I always feel like, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're exploring this world. And it's like when
Yep.
kids come walking into, or the parents with their little kids come walking into Barnes and Noble, it's like I just look at them and I get the little kid right away and they look at me and it's like instant recognition. I'm going, they're like jumping around and then the parent is like, and it's just so interesting. But yes, it's like you're playing the playground of your mind, this loving, fascinating, right?
Yes,
Create.
absolutely. And curiosity and I mean just one simple thing of taking judgment out of the equation.
Mhm.
I mean, that immediately sets a person free.
That's a work of a lifetime for, even if a person's on that, wants to get, I mean, I see it in the 12 steps where they get it about no judgment, but it's years and years and years of work. You were kind of just born there. That's pretty amazing to me.